Hi, Brian. How are you today?
Good, Rhiannon. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So let's chat about the three biggest mistakes buyers are making right now.
Yes, I would love to. I come across it a lot, and we can love to chat about it.
Cool. So, what's the first mistake that you're seeing buyers making in this market?
The first mistake that I am seeing is not getting pre-approved. For a buyer to be willing, able, and ready to buy, being pre-approved is the most important part of the first step.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I 100% agree. So how do you recommend buyers going about getting pre-approved and what that looks like for them?
I think one of the first things the first step's either to ask a friend of theirs, or if you're working with a realtor, to ask a realtor what their preferred lenders are. A lot of realtors work with lenders on transactions and they're familiar with, and they are willing to share their lenders that they use with you. So either friends, family, realtors, people that you can trust, I recommend going that route.
Yep, that's awesome. Okay, what is the second mistake that you see buyers making the most right now in this environment that we are working in?
So this is, I feel like, a really important one. A lot of buyers will get the first step of getting it pre-approved, and then just start going out and looking at houses and kind of not being educated on the current market and what is going on. And I think that's one of the most important things that I'm seeing is, when a buyer is wanting a new house, they just see themselves getting into it, which is great. But there's a process along, and it takes to get to that home. And one of them is being educated on what's going on in the market. Right now we're seeing in the market that we have low inventory and a lot of competition, a lot of buyers out there. So, buyers need to be educated on what's going on, how to win offers and what to do to get there. So that and current conditions, and just, having knowledge of what's going on around you. So that's a number two on my list of not being educated on the current market. And what some of the things that you can do is, again, have conversations with your realtor, with your lender, and having these conversations of what's going on in the market. Can you educate me and let me know what is going on? What do you see? So as a realtor, that's what I'm doing. Is my job is, when I have a client, sitting down with them on a one-to-one and just telling them what I'm seeing and what's going on in the Columbus market.
Yeah, and that's a good point because I think historically, real estate is something that people consider as a hobby, or it's fun to look at, or it's fun to talk about, and it's a topic that people like chatting about, right? But the reality is if you haven't bought a house, even if you bought a house, 5, 10, 15 years ago, if you haven't bought a house in the last 18 months to 2 years, you actually have no idea, what is going on. And so I agree wholeheartedly that talking to the trusted professionals right now is key, because it isn't what it was a year ago or 2 years ago, even, right?
Right. And yes, and exactly what you said. And Central Ohio is consistently in the top 25 or top five in the real estate market in the country.
Yeah.
So, getting into finding a house, and it's a long process, and you need to be educated and know what's going on. So,
Yep. Cool. Okay, let's get to the last and final third mistake that you see buyers are making in this market.
okay. So for me, this is a close one, and not choosing the right realtor. We are choosing the right realtor is a really important step in this. You need to find somebody that knows the market, that is really good at communication, and that is a trusted agent. We are a top 1% team in Columbus market. Over 500 five-star ratings on Zillow and Google. And you need to find somebody that is in this market on a daily basis, that does a lot of transactions, that you can trust. And most important, that when you sit down with a realtor, that you like them, and that it's not just for me, it's not always just a transaction with a client and then a goodbye. For me, it's a lifelong friendship after a transaction. I love, that's one of the things that I love about my job, is that I treat my clients almost like a family, and I want them to be comfortable with me and knowing that I'm looking out for their best benefit. So finding the right realtor in this step is really important.
Yeah, and I've always said, we are in the relationship business, not the house selling business, right? And so that was a key point that you pointed out. But also, it's interesting because this weekend as a listing agent, I saw a bunch of offers come in on a property that we had listed. And it's pretty clear as soon as I read the offers, what agents are actually aware and educated on what's going on in this market, and which ones have no idea. And it's very clear in the offers, whether or not they've educated their buyers and put their buyers in a position to win. And honestly, it was a little sad, this weekend, watching how many agents really have no idea what's going on. And that's why it's so important to work with a top team, to work with someone who has a lot of experience like we do, and doing it for the right reasons, which is the relationship part of it, and kind of determining what's best for each of our clients and addressing those situations and coming up with strategies on how to get people into homes in this crazy environment. So anyways, it was great chatting with you today, Brian. Thank you for the tips. I think they're really helpful, and I agree with all three.
Thanks, Rhiannon, for having me.
Yeah. Have a great day.
You too. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.